we'll talk about that in 15 minutes. It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Hey,
we've made it to another Friday.
Get it, Key. Get it.
To another Friday. Key, you fired up? You ready to go?
Man, I don't understand, though, man. My career, man, as a player, I just don't get why what did I do wrong to people that my career went the way it went?
You just missed the quarterback carousel, man.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, seriously.
He's still on.
Dudes like Michael Pittman Jr. and T.Y. Hilton and Jonathan Taylor, them dudes just hit pay dirt again, potentially.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, they go from Phillip Rivers, which is a veteran quarterback who knew what to do, to now a potential guy in Carson Wentz that has some potential. If his mentals can get right and Frank Reich can get him right, Jay, he gonna be straight. If they could just get whatever sour grapes was going on in Philadelphia, they get rid of that and get him back to why the Eagles drafted him and what we saw when he went 11-2 before he tore his ACL against the Rams out in L.A. when he tried to run and got hit and flipped. If they can get that guy back, or the guy that we saw at the end of the 2019 season, they hit pay dirt. I'm so mad, man. What did I ever do to somebody? It's like, God. These dudes be so lucky with these quarterbacks and really be acting like they popping at the position.
Here's the crazy part. Key, yesterday when we were on the call, I was like, I had the wrong number. I was a little bit over, and then Evan, our producer, corrected me and said it was 50. But I was like, do you guys know that Carson Wentz was sacked 50 times? And you're like, Jay, not sacked, hit, right? Hit. And I was like, I think it's sacked. And then Evan confirmed, sacked 50 times last year.
Well, yeah.
50 times.
That's a lot.
And had 10-plus offensive lines, as opposed to the statue, Phil Rivers, who had a top 10 offensive line who was only sacked 19.
Yeah, and I would bet my right arm and left leg and a toe off my right.
Well, I'm not betting my left leg. I barely got one. I only got one to work with.
Yeah, they might not want that one.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Phillip Rivers can't get away from anybody. Carson Wentz can still move. Even, he can move. Phillip Rivers can't move at all. One guy sacked 50 times, the other guy sacked 19. But that offensive line in Indianapolis, look, Zubin, was built for Andrew Luck. Then Andrew Luck abruptly retired at the start of the season. They had to go to Jacoby Brissett. It didn't work out. They got Phillip Rivers in there, tried to push. Buffalo was a little bit too much, just a little bit too much for Indianapolis. Now they make a blockbuster trade with the Philadelphia Eagles to grab Carson Wentz. They give up a second-round pick and a third-round pick in this year's draft, and in 2022, a second-round pick that somehow could become a first-round pick, which, in my opinion, that's plenty for Carson Wentz. They even if it turns into a first-round pick, which it probably will, right? Because he's going to be the starter,
and they'd be fine with it.
I'll be fine. I'm fine with it.
He's going to meet the percentage that he needs to play, and they're most likely are going to be in the playoffs. So, yeah, sure, take it.
And
why
look,
not?
T.Y. Hilton's a free agent, but you got guys like Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin out there. I mean, if they land a couple of pieces, they land a tight end like a Hunter Henry. I mean, they're a contender, Key.
Yeah,
like
but you keep
they're a
T.Y.
contender.
Hilton, though. You keep
I agree with you.
T.Y. Hilton.
Okay, either way, I'm just saying they are a contender. Right now, they're probably in the top 4 of the AFC to me.
The Eagles got fleeced.
So you really believe that?
I do. I do. Because what have I always said about players, though? You're brought here to do what? To coach him up, not run from him. If
Man, no.
you coach him up, you don't run from him. But I don't know the inner workings of his mentality, his brain. Where was he at? Did he walk in there and tell him, you know what, no matter what you do, I don't want to be here because I can't trust him. I don't like the way that the cheesesteaks taste around here anymore. I don't know what he said. I have no idea. They parted ways with him, and I believe Indianapolis got the best of this deal.
I'm okay because there's a new regime in town. It's similar to Arizona when they had Josh Rosen, and it's like, oh, a new regime came in, we want Kyler Murray. Same thing. Okay, Doug Peterson was here with Howard Roseman to a degree. Carson Wentz is our guy. We got Jalen Hurts. We definitely had some communication issues with the way we talked to Carson Wentz about Jalen Hurts. Now there's a new regime to a degree. Okay,
But the problem,
change the course of action.
The problem with the Josh Rosen scenario, though, Jay, is Josh Rosen can't play.
No,
right now.
I'm just talking about the similarities between regimes.
Carson Wentz has shown that he can play.
But Carson Wentz didn't want to be there anymore because of the way it went down.
If he didn't want to be there, then I get that. I understand that. But if they just assumed that he didn't want to be there and looked at him as a player that couldn't be turned around, that's something different. But if he had a conversation with him, Zubin, and said, "Hey, I don't want to play for you guys anymore," then
if they fired Doug Peterson, isn't that a sign to Carson Wentz? Okay, we understand that you had a disgruntled, look, that word comes up again, a disgruntled relationship.
Well, at least you use it on Carson Wentz and not on me.
But your relationship with Doug Peterson wasn't good. We got rid of him. Isn't that a sign? Isn't that a white flag to Carson Wentz? Hey, we're over here. We want you back. We're trying to figure it out. I just don't think Carson Wentz wanted to be there anymore.
I would think before they fired Doug Peterson, if they intended on keeping Carson Wentz, that conversation would have come up. Because why would you fire the head coach not knowing if the quarterback wanted to stay and compete for the job? I would think that you would address the quarterback before you fire a head coach that took you to a Super Bowl win. I don't know everything in the building at Lincoln Financial Stadium in Philadelphia and what was going on, but they certainly got the bad end of the stick, in my opinion, right now, because you have a young quarterback that it's not going to take a lot to fix him, and he's going to a team.
Couple of things here. Sal Palantonio certainly knows what's going on inside the NovaCare Complex, the Eagles facility. He'll join us in 38 minutes. Here's two things. We want to hear from Dan Orlovsky, who has been, as we like to say, jokingly, we like to rib him, he is the biggest Carson Wentz supporter. We're going to hear from Orlovsky in just a second on what a change of scenery would do. But guys, here's one thing nobody's talking about, or almost nobody's talking about. As Key said, the particulars, a third-round pick in 2021 goes back, and a conditional second-rounder in 2022. That could be a first-round pick if Wentz plays well.
I stole your stuff, sorry.
No problem. The Colts have two of the first 54 picks in the draft. They have the 21st overall pick in the first round, and they have the 54th overall pick in the second round. They didn't have to part with either of those picks. So think about it. They didn't have to give up any of their major credit this year. They can keep their first round pick. They can keep their second round pick. And that's no small thing, because this is a big year for Carson Wentz. He's not going to ease in, and Frank Reich's not going to be like, welcome in, we're going to slowly build. Wentz has to play well this year. And the best thing that they can do to make sure he plays well this year is to keep the first round pick and the second round pick and either supply some help on offense or get better on defense. To Jay's point, they have the best offensive line in the league, as rated by Pro Football Focus. Costanzo is great. Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly are the two best players, arguably at their position in the conference. That is no small thing. We'll hear from Orlovsky. I know you want to chime in here.
No, I was going to say, I don't know how to get better. Where are you going to get better at other than at the quarterback spot? Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson, Michael Pittman Jr., re-signed T.Y. Hilton. Maybe you grab another guy on the defensive side. You got Darius Leonard there. You got DeForest Buckner there, Julian Blackmon. So you got the defensive line covered with Buckner. You got Leonard at the linebacker spot, and on the back end, you got Julian Blackmon, a young safety out of Utah. So you got all three of that covered, those levels covered, and now you just sprinkle whatever is there around those guys and continue to build. The quarterback spot was the problem. Nothing else. They took care of business getting players, but you are right, Zubin, having the first round pick still, you could do all sorts of things at 21, and then you still got your number 2 pick.
Indeed. We'll hear from Dan here in just a second, as you might expect, a vigorous defense of Carson Wentz on the way.
Really?
So, with Orlovsky's guy traded, hang tight for Dan's comments. I promise they'll be worth it, bringing passion as always. So with Dan's guy out, Jalen Hurts is in, right? So, problem solved at quarterback, right? Nope. The Eagles have the 6th overall pick, and there are plenty of people that think they're going to draft another quarterback.
Do it.
We'll find out and discuss it next. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
The Eagles just ended a quarterback controversy by agreeing to trade Carson Wentz. Would they